We're less than 72 hours away from the season final of Star Trek Picard, so let's do our last preview and speculation of the final episode of Season 1.
I want you to reconsider your present course of action.
We have no choice.
That is a failure of imagination. What are you doing here? Trying to save the universe?
All ships, prepare to fight.
It's the end. Oh? Everything. The sky will crack. The worlds will burn. Show them you're not the enemy. You're not the destroyer.
Hey everyone, my name is Captain Jack and welcome to Trek Central. Following episode 9 of Star Trek Picard, which sets us up for the season 1 final, we're going to be breaking down the trailer you've just seen, as well as talking about the exclusive The Ready Room clip. As a quick reminder, this video will contain spoilers for Star Trek Picard episode 10 season 1. You have been warned. If you're new to our channel, then we invite you to subscribe in order to never miss a video. Let's warp into this. Okay, so first we'll break down the global preview trailer and then the exclusive Ready Room clip, which reveals even more information about the upcoming episode. The global preview opens with Jean-Luc Picard narrating by saying the following line: "I want you to reconsider your present course of action," all while scenes of the synthetic outpost and Soji flash by. What's even more interesting is we can see the apparent communication structure being built on the surface in the next scene, which also shows Dr. Agnes Jurati looking up at it. Episode 9's ending revealed that the synthetics plan to construct a communication device to contact these higher beings, in order to ask for the help against the oppressive organic species like the Romulans. Soji and Picard can then be seen discussing this decision, with her saying, "We have no choice." Picard responds to with a typical Picard response of saying, "That is a failure of imagination." This trailer scene here actually connects with the exclusive sneak peek from the Ready Room, which we'll be chatting about in a moment. Therefore I'll speak more in depth about Picard and Soji's conversation later on in this video, and you can see why. Our next scene of the preview cuts to La Serena still crashed on the planet's surface. Here we can see the extent of the damage to the starship. It's not that much, but I imagine it might be still having some trouble restoring power, as that was mentioned in episode 9, and it kinda looks like they haven't got much back online just yet. Thanks to the preview, we know that Rios and the crew managed to restore the ship somehow, and it can later be seen in orbit above the outpost. Narek, after escaping from the synthetic outpost, can be seen outside La Serena's bridge window, with Captain Rios asking what he's doing here. Narek's response to Rios' question almost suggests that he might have had a change of heart. He says, "Trying to save the universe" is his response to the question. Many of us have been wondering whether Narek will become a good character rather than a bad guy doing his sister's bidding to destroy synthetic life. His response to Rios almost suggests that he's going to help them, but let's not forget, the Romulans believe they are saving everyone by killing off all synthetic life. Narek was originally described by his actor, Harry Treadaway, as a character who just needed a good hug, but also mentioned that he was not inadvertently a bad guy. Whether he'll turn to the good side, I was going to say light side for a moment, is still up for debate. I would be interested in hearing your theories on Narek in the comments section below. The next scene shows us a Romulan warbird warping into orbit above the synthetic colony. Taking a guess, I would presume this either might be Nerissa's starship or Commodore O's flagship, which was seen at the end of episode 9. Our guess is confirmed as we can see Commodore O on the bridge of his starship shouting a battle cry as they prepare for invasion. I imagine her speech might have a bit more power to it, and I really hope we get to see more of O and Nerissa in this episode, especially if they have a big bad enemy at hand. The next scene shows us even more Romulan warbirds have arrived, as they arm their weapons and prepare to fire on whatever stands in their way. The following scenes are typical trailer scenes, being very fast and flashy in order to build up hype for that moment. We see La Serena, now in orbit, somehow repaired, dodging explosions as it flies by more of the space orchids. I'm really going to enjoy seeing the Romulan's reaction to magic space flowers, as I'm still getting over that part, to be honest. Back to Narek again, he can be seen sitting around a fire with Raffi, while saying, "It is the end of everything." This could be in relation to the admission, which the Romulans do not like for reasons which have been made obvious in this series so far. Snapping back to the synthetic colony, we see that Elnor has arrived with Raffi. So far, Picard's crew do not know that Jean-Luc is under house arrest, as most of them went back to La Serena in order to repair the ship. Elnor was still on the Borg cube, but I have a feeling that he most likely chooses to come and help Jean-Luc rather than rebuilding the cube with Seven. Seeing Elnor here makes me wonder about 7 of 9. Personally, some of us here at Trek Central were disappointed by the lack of her scenes in episode 9. Hopefully she pops up in episode 10 as well, kicking some Romulan ass like she's used to by now. Back to Elnor again, a fight seems to break out between him and some of the synthetics surrounding himself and Raffi. This might be after they learn that Picard is under house arrest and they try and break him out. I'm not sure how well that's going to go though. Elnor is a strong boy, but I don't think he can go toe to toe with synthetics who can bend metal for a pastime. Narak's speech continues by saying the sky will crack, while a red beam of energy launches from a planet's surface into space. This is most likely the synthetics attempting to contact the higher being who left behind this message. Picard can then be seen in the seat of La Serena. For a moment I thought he was in the captain's chair, followed by a blue energy beam firing into the sky can also be seen, this time again looking like the communication station has been built, all while the Orchid defences launch from the planet's surface. These things are kinda creepy now I mention it. Now what I was originally confused by is here, is we see a red beam and also a blue beam. I imagine the blue beam might be the communication one, then again, what's a red beam? I don't know, slightly confusing, and I really don't have any theories on this for the moment. It does look like many of us are going to get the space battle we've been looking forward to, as the Romulan fleet engages the space flowers at near point blank range. I seriously doubt the space flowers will set Commodore O back much, as we see a fleet of 218 warbirds strong against 15 to 20 flowers. Kinda sounds weird when you say it like that. We're still debating and speculating on whether the Federation will show up to a fleet to assist Picard with his mission, while many of us here at Trek Central are hoping to see a particular Starfleet vessel in Star Trek Picard. It might not happen. If it does, I really hope that a certain Klingon captain might make a cameo. Moving forward to the final scenes of this trailer, Picard is attempting to convince Soji that she can show them that she is not the enemy and is not the destroyer. Who them is could be a little bit of a plot twist. Naturally we can presume that Picard means the Romulans, who are on their way to annihilate Soji and her synthetic brothers and sisters. However, what if it's actually this higher being? The final scenes of the trailer now flash by super quick, revealing the Romulan fleet at warp, Soji screaming no, and a red rip in space showing some metallic space tentacles. The red rip in space, revealing the metallic space weird stuff, is very interesting to many of us. The theories have been going wild on who or what this actually is. The obvious speculation would be that this is the higher being that has been mentioned many times throughout episode 9. Our host and good friend Mr. Ketwalski came up with the idea that the higher being might be trying to deceive the synthetics, and is actually something to be feared. Essentially this being could be one who is going to wipe out the synthetic and organic life in one go. This would almost say that the Romulans were correct, but at the same time they might have just misinterpreted the original message incorrectly. We've seen that each person and being interprets the admonition in a different way. Sutra interpret it in one way, while Commodore O and her Zat-Vash agents interpret it in another way. Then it comes down to what's actually correct. Either way, I can't wait to see how this element of the episode plays out. These higher beings are certainly interesting, and I personally really hope we get to some awesome space battle that's going to give us, and many other Trekkies, exactly what we want from Star Trek Picard. I certainly want a Federation fleet arriving to help out, but we may not get that. Okay, with the global preview trailer out of the way, let's discuss the Ready Room clip, which can be found via the video description below. Due to copyright and licensing reasons, I can't actually show it to you on screen, but the link's in the video description should you want to watch it for yourself. Coming in at about 1 minute long, this clip is very brief and overall does not give us much extra information about what's going to happen. Though this is good, as I would not want to work out what is actually going to happen in the episode, even though we do love some good old speculation. CBS and the Star Trek Picard team are being very secretive about episode 10, for obvious reasons, so let's explore our last exclusive clip of the season. Starting out, a butterfly flies by as Picard is under house arrest and locked in Bruce Maddox's old apartment room. He says lucky you, almost as he realises his fate and that he's imprisoned in this very room. From the outside, we see that Soji has arrived to visit Jean-Luc and accesses his room via retinal scan, all while Dr. Jurati is sneaking around the corner watching her. This almost suggests to us that she's up to something. Maybe Jurati will have a change of heart and help Picard escape the outpost. Maybe she ends up freeing him. Soji walks in and asks Picard if he's okay, showing that she still kinda cares for him. As you can imagine, this isn't exactly the ideal situation, with Jean-Luc responding that it'll be okay once he's set free from his imprisonment. Making her case, Soji attempts to inform Picard that he needs to see the situation at hand from a point of view of her and the other synthetics. She remarks by the following: "You choose if we live, you choose if we die, you choose." Soji is essentially making a point that the synthetic lifeforms have no choice in the matter, which is correct, as previously organics have always made the decisions for synthetics, which kinda sucks from their point of view. Now of course, Jean-Luc Picard finishes this discussion in style with a great little moment of saying, "To say you have no choice is a failure of imagination." He then pleads with Soji to make it so that the Romulans do not fear her and the other synths what they believe they are. The Ready Room scene ends here. Nothing too revealing from this week from this exclusive scene, and honestly I was not expecting much. As I mentioned before, CBS and the Star Trek executives are being super secret about this episode for obvious reasons. You would not want to spoil the season final for Star Trek Picard. As much as I wish I could predict and be completely right about what's going to happen, that would be kinda boring, but hey, it's fun to speculate anyway. Don't forget to include your speculations and theories in the comment section below of this video, we can't wait to hear them. Trek Central will be here on Thursday to deliver you our episode 10 review of the season final of Star Trek Picard. All while we shall also be live streaming our discussion on the upcoming Sunday about the episode. More details to follow on that one, so stay tuned to our Twitter and other social media. So there we have it, that's our thoughts on what will happen in episode 10 and the season 1 final of Star Trek Picard. If you want to keep up to date on all things Star Trek news, lore and more, then make sure to subscribe to Trek Central here on YouTube. You can also follow us on social media for daily updates, visit our website, or even join our brand new community Discord server. For now, I've been Captain Jack, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.